So from what I hear, the melee DPS role quest for Dawntrail is probably the best of what have been described in multiple very colourful ways. I'm not going to repeat those colourful ways because I haven't played them all yet, but of the two that I have done, the caster DPS was kind of meh, and the healer one was alright actually, but probably an acquired taste. So the fact that the melee one is supposedly quote unquote better than the others, it's not exactly a high bar to clear, to be fair. I've seen people saying, oh no, these role quests are awful, we should bring back job quests. Which is like, well, they're not going to. They've already said they're not going to. They've given reasons for why they're not going to. You know, there are 21, I believe it is now, 21 jobs in Dawntrail. It will probably go up to 23 for whatever the next expansion is, assuming they don't say, you know, enough's enough. And I don't think they will, because Final Fantasy XI just added more and more and more and more. So, yeah, I'm assuming we'll get a tank and a healer. They can't do that though, can they? When they could add another tank, they might do another tank and a DPS, but they've got 2 healers and 2 what do they call them? 2 barrier healers and what do they call the other ones? I don't know off the top of my head, and I'm not looking it up because I'm lazy. So unless they add 2 healers at once, 1 barrier and 1 throughput healer or whatever they're called, that's not going to work. Anyway, I was supposed to be role questing. So, the hunter and the hunted. Shasheshbia. That's really easy to say when you have a lisp. Shasheshbia seeks an adventurer who likes getting up close and personal. Ooh. Hello there. I take it you've spoken with Brook Evu. Willing to lend a hand? Nod. Very serious face. I'm truly grateful. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Shasheshbia, and I have travelled far from my village in the forest of Shaktoral in search of a brave soul to help us retrieve our stolen treasure. So basically all of these treasures are housed in remote villages which we cannot otherwise get to. I really like this combination of skin colour and hair colour, by the way, on Viera. For generations have my people watched over the Dreamweave cocoon. That sounds very cool. The vessel in which the power of the Swallowtail Tural Vidral is sealed. Before its ascension, the Swallowtail warded off would-be predators by assuming the form of more threatening butterflies, poisonous ones and the like, through its skill at mimicry. So it survived, day after day, summer after summer, until the dawn of its great new existence. It became capable of taking on the form of any creature which crossed its path. This fearsome power was sealed within the cocoon, and any who possess it command that self-same abilities. Indeed, the wielder too may assume the form of any manner of beast or man they've beheld. Okay, so that's a fairly significant power. So I've gone from can drop rocks from the sky, which was a bit stupid, to be honest, to can create horrendous poisons that could wipe out the entire population. Okay, villainous, yes. To can take the form of anyone that they've encountered, which obviously could cause a different kind of trouble. Yet this mimicry is not limited to merely physical forms. No, the wielder may replicate the talents and abilities of their target so long as such actions fall within their ken, that is. In an instant, they may become a master of the hunt, a twin-blade wielding viper, or a savage brash, with claws and fangs to gut whomever they please. Whoever they please. It is this power which has protected my village from the predators of the forest. Although it grants many boons, the forest contains threats in equal measure. By donning the skins of its most formidable beasts, we've kept ourselves safe for generations. Without the cocoon, my village's every survival is at risk. Very survival is at risk. That is why we've sent our foremost hunter, Itoka, to ensure it is reclaimed. She has never failed to capture her quarry, so I thought she would make short work of this ordeal, yet there has been no word from her. I fear this may be a hunt she cannot undertake alone. It is for that reason I wish to enlist the aid of one familiar with the lay of the land beyond the Great Sea, and one whose prowess in close quarters would complement her expertise with the bow. One of the villagers ran into the thief before he fled, and said he intended to use the cocoon's power in Kugane, which I understand is the name of a large settlement located far, far to the east. Please, for the sake of my home, set out for this eastern habitation and assist Itoka with retrieving the cocoon. As long as you're willing to cover my teleportation... No, leave it to me. Your willingness, Wade, is most reassuring. You have my heartfelt thanks. Upon arriving in the eastern lands, search for a Vieira woman carrying a bow and dressed in similar attire to myself. Wouldn't they say Shatona? I would have thought that would have been a Shatona woman, because she's native to Tural. If you visit a tavern like this one, I dare say you might find someone who has seen her. Trainers. Shitan! Welcome to Shikaze Hostelry. How may I serve you? You're searching for someone? As a matter of fact, I do distinctly remember seeing a Vieira woman with that description earlier, but I'm afraid I could not tell you where she may be now. Oh, you're no help. A Boku. A lass from Tural, was it? Sorry, I can't help you. That reminds me, though. Tural has its own local variety of spirits called Meshkol. I'm meaning to taste it myself for an age now, but no idea how hard it is to get one's hands on a bottle of it here. No. No, I have not. Vieira a woman bearing a bow? Well, yes, I do recall such a person. It's hard not to notice her, really, given how she was peering at every little thing. If she came from distant lands to the west, no doubt Kugane is quite the unusual sight for her. With any luck, she'll still be where I saw her, in the vicinity of the Sekisagumi barracks. Okay, so we have a destination in mind. Itoka-esque woman? This city is simply too large for me to cover alone. Perhaps it's time I returned home. Hi! I've come to aid your search, Itoka. Oh, is that right? I'm grateful, but why? I see. Shishishbia always was a worrywart. I won't deny I appreciate the help, though. Ascertaining the whereabouts of the cocoon has been no easy task. I've managed to secure room and board in this lodging after arriving in Kugane, and have been using it as a base to track down the thief ever since. I'll tell you all I know. According to an eyewitness from my village, the thief is a middle-aged Highland male. That's all we have to go on regarding his appearance. Yet so long as he possesses the cocoon, he can be anyone and anything. An elderly woman traipsing along the street, a child throwing a ball, mayhap even the dog chasing after it. Truth be told, I was nigh at wit's end trying to find him. That is, until I discovered that a series of unusual squabbles have been occurring around the city. After investigating these incidents, I found one commonality. The instigator in each case invariably had no recollection of the incident, let alone of inciting it. What's more, eerie accounts have begun to circulate amongst the residents. Some folk claim they've somehow been seen in two places at once. Based on all this, I believe the thief's been using the Dreamweave cocoon to transform into innocence and spread discord throughout the city. It stands to reason we can find him by simply following the trail of chaos left in his wake, no? And yet, even should we apprehend him, in whatever form he's hidden himself within, there's nothing to stop him from feigning ignorance. Besides a secret remedy, of course, the recipe for an elixir which can forcibly remove the cocoon's enchantment has been passed down in my village for emergencies like this. Make sure to prepare a few files before making the voyage here. I need simply throw the solution at the suspect and the cocoon's weave of mimicry will unfurl on the spot. That covers everything. Now, let's say we see if there's any trouble afoot. The thief will undoubtedly not be far from it. Let me know when you're ready. We'll catch him together. Is this the thief? Ready to set off then? Perfect. I say we begin our search with the markets. I recall a great number of people gathering in the Rakusa district, I believe it was called. Itoka, quote unquote, is now following us. Talk about cities. I think that all of this was wrought by mortal hands. Remarkable. My people have ever lived in harmony with nature, but that doesn't mean we condemn the ways of those who choose otherwise. In fact, in the brief time I've been exposed to settlements like this, I've come to see such places have their merits too. Mortal hands is a very specific turn of phrase. Not that I'm a suspicious type. Hold on, I think we might be nearing a point of interest. Look, you thieving Orson, I told you this isn't enough. Nod. But sir, that cannot be right. I am sure I gave you your change in full. Enough. Hand over my money or I'll take it by force. Let's keep watching. But isn't it obvious? No one gets so worked up over a handful of coins unless they're looking for trouble. Reveal yourself, villain. What in the blazes do you think you're doing? Oh. Sorry. Very, very sorry. Oh dear. A thousand apologies, sir. I gravely miscalculated your change. I will return what you are owed immediately. I beg your forgiveness. Huh. Also vaguely suspicious. But we have established a little bit of character about Itoka. I apologise for the disturbance. Oh, how dreadfully embarrassing. Well, a hunter doesn't quit after a single arrow misses its mark. Best not to dwell on what's done and instead focus on the next course of action. Let's see how things fare on Kagane Dore. A bridge. I can't believe how impossibly vast it is. My jaw dropped when first I saw it. I could hardly fathom where the horizon ended and the sea began. Before arriving in Tuliolol, I'd imagined the sea to be merely a larger, saltier body of water than the lake back home. There we would face... try this again. There we would race from shore to shore. To attempt the same here, I fear, would have fatal results. I do like how the Prima Vista is framed up there. A point of interest. Is the same thing going to happen here, or is she going to learn? I'll cut you down where you stand, you lecherous lummox. That was a surprisingly long pan. Oh. What's going on? What is going on here? The big bloke yonder allegedly laid his hands on that grizzled fellow's woman. Afraid this might come to blows. Calm yourself, man. I have not done what she claims. You dare add insult to injury by calling her a liar? Nice look. Ignore him. I told you that pig defiled me. Cut him down this instance. There's no truth to her words. Wherefore does she spout such rubbish? Can't we give me strength? Cut the bloody brute down already. Yes, naught less than your head shall serve as penance for your crimes. Very well, let my blade prove my innocence. Nice haircut. She's the villain. It's her, right? Yeah. Bong. What? Was that really necessary? No matter. I was growing weary of this petty farce. It's time I moved on to bigger and better things. Oh, no, you don't. Oh. Terrible shot. So not only is she somewhat impetuous, but she's not even very good. How odd. My bow is more out of tune than I realised. Well, I suppose they couldn't finish the quests. Sweetheart. Is it really you? Ugh, thank the karma you're safe. Huh. I found her lying unconscious in a nearby alleyway. She could only vaguely recall being attacked from behind before losing consciousness. So the villain knocked her out before assuming her visage to an ploy to deceive her husband. I fell for the deception like a complete and utter fool. I did not even know how to begin to make amends. Ah, there were no amends to be made. You simply acted as any husband would. Due to your involvement, this matter was resolved without bloodshed. A Sakasugumi thank you. It is regrettable, however, that the villain managed to escape. A criminal who can change their shape at will is exceedingly dangerous. Know that the Sakasugumi will alert the populace to this menace and remain vigilant for any suspicious activity in the city. /ebow. Which is still my go-to emote at the end of duties. Don't know why. Let's return to my lodgings. I'd like to go over where we stand with our elusive quarry. Probably do something about your bow as well. Right, where actually are her lodgings? Just around the corner. As predicted, the thief has been using the cocoon's power of mimicry to incite conflict around the city. What he hopes to accomplish by doing so, however, is still unclear. And so long as he has this power, our sole means of tracking him remains the havoc left in his wake. A trying trail for any hunter, but I'm heartened to have a warrior like you beside me as I tread it. We'll catch him together, and when we do, we'll mete out the justice he deserves. Level 92, A Sea of Blood. For better or worse, I haven't heard about any unusual incidents in Kugani since our last altercation with the thief. There may be a reason for that. Do you remember when he claimed he was moving on to bigger and better things? If we're to catch him, we may have to expand the scope of our search beyond Kugani. Yes, he travelled all the way from Tural to the Eastern Land for a reason. I can't imagine he'd go too far. Do you know of any other settlements nearby? The Ruby Sea is dotted with settlements. People live out on those waters, but they're so vast. Where would we even begin? Ah, so the Bakofu has an outpost at the Ruby Price. That sounds like the perfect place to start. Let's make our way there and avail ourselves of the soldiers' intel. If anything out of the ordinary has occurred, no doubt they'll be aware of it. Shall we? Are they going to get Magni involved in this? Because we're undoubtedly going to end up in Yangsha, aren't we? Ooh, no point getting on my mount, but I have done, and it is adorable. Boing, 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 boing. Ahem. Akaruga. Well, this is unexpected. What brings you to the Ruby Price? Disputes? Strange you should ask. Not even a moon ago the waters of the Ruby Sea were poised to turn a sanguinary shade. Sanguinary? Sanguinary? To turn red. Not even a moon ago. Isn't a moon a month? Please, tell us everything. A Confederate skiff approached the Ruby Price without authorization. Its occupant began hurling insult after insult in an obvious attempt to provoke us. We did not succumb to their provocations, however. After warning the vessel we'd fire if they drew an ilm closer, they withdrew without a word. However, should they attempt to provoke us again, we shall not display the same level of restraint, and the roar of our cannons shall signal their comrades to rally in full force. The waters will flow red, of that there can be no doubt. Tensions run high. Naught like this has ever occurred. I see. Thank you for the information. Might we speak privately? So somebody claiming to be one of the pirate confederates tried to get past this outpost and was rebuffed. Based on that testimony just now, I gather that there's an agreement in these waters that the Confederates are not to draw near the Ruby Price, guarded as it is by Bakufu sentries. If that's the case, then as the soldier stated, I can only conclude that the vessel earlier was attempting to incite a dispute between the two factions. Which fits the modus operandi of our quarry, wouldn't you say? Perhaps it was he who sailed here under the banner of the Confederates. Whatever the case may be, we have nothing but conjecture. We need solid evidence before we can alert the soldiers here to this threat. I doubt they'll heed our warnings otherwise. First, we need to verify if any members of the Confederacy actually approached the Ruby Price. Do you know where the base of operations can be found? Nod. And we know the people in charge. Sakazuki. Looks like it would be fastest for us to swim there. Yeah, you do that. Well, it is just there, so... Is it going to actually swim us there, or am I going to have to... No, it is in fact going to swim us there. Nice. Shihoji? What? Absolutely not. Not one of my Confederate brothers and sisters would approach the Ruby Price without authorization. Those cowardly bucking-food dogs must have concocted this baseless rumour to get a rise out of us. Yeah. Hyun. The soldiers of the Ruby Price said that, did they? Pardon my language, but that's a load of shite. We have no interest in Hingham Mortars. If anything, I've seen their skiffs encroaching on our territory of late. If you ask me, they're the ones thirsty for blood. Okay, so this is more of a threat. Not just causing disputes in the city. Hi. There you are. Listen to what this person has to say. The situation is more grave than we thought. I'm thankful you came. Not a moment too soon. Captain Rasher ain't been acting himself, you see. Normally where he goes, Tanshri goes, but not today. He showed up just earlier by his lonesome and ordered us to gather as many heads as able to join him on the Isle of Becca to attend to some pressing business. Normally I'd oblige the captain without a moment's hesitation. I had a feeling something weren't right, so I asked him what manner of business. Going to set the Ruby Price ablaze, he says. The bloody Ruby Price. Tried speaking some sense into him, but he weren't of a mind to listen. Walked off saying he has no need of craven bastards like me. Look, I don't know what's gotten into the captain, but it can't be anything good. Please, go to the Isle of Becca and stop him with my comrades before it's too late. This Rasho acting strangely can't be a coincidence. We need to get to that island and quickly. Do you know the way? Yes, I have been there. But we've not a moment to waste. I fought a god with a big sword. Was it? Was that where we fought What's His Face? What's His Face? Yeah, that's really descriptive. What's his name? Big samurai dude. Stormbloods. Susano. Oh no, that wasn't there. I'm thinking of the Isle of Zeki. Echoes this one. I hear voices. Okay, we can probably get you some counselling. No, it seems they've gathered up ahead. Do 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 do. I keep going to say, oh, I really like the music in this sound, but there's no point. Oh, scum think they can encroach on our territory and get away with it? We're damned if we let them. Tonight we lay siege to the Ruby Price and seize it for ourselves. But are you sure? If we do this, we won't just be starting a battle, we'll be starting a war. You've been acting strange, Captain. What's going into you? Silence! I asked for your bloody opinion. Those lying dogs claimed it was us breaching the agreements. I say we give the bastards what they deserve. Oh, hi. You're not welcome here. Be gone if you value your lives. You're a terrible actor. You saw through my disguise once again. Don't tell me you can't even a pirate captain among your acquaintances. Oh, we've been around. Uh-huh. What are you trying to accomplish? Why incite such conflict wherever you go? Why? Sorry to disappoint you, but contrary to the passage of the Unbanned's prattling about freeing the world from the tyranny of government, I have no grand designs. I wish merely for everyone to show their true faces. Folk love to put on airs of sophistication and virtue, but push them towards the edge and their masks slip off to reveal the monsters underneath. They'll go for the neighbour's jugular to save their own skin. You've seen it for yourselves. It's quite the spectacle. Here we go again. Jeez. You are a terrible hunter! Ugh, jeez. The winds are too strong. Excuses, excuses. Ah, man of 1,000 faces is a true menace indeed. We'll return to Anako forthwith to alert the captain. Rest assured the Confederacy will be keeping a close watch over the Ruby Sea. I didn't think for a moment he was an imposter. The lies he spouted about the Bakofu soldiers were enough to make my blood boil. To think what would have happened had you not been here to stop us. Kami bless you. All he wants is to expose people's so-called true faces. As he would use the cocoon for such a petty cause. Unthinkable. Let's return to the Kagane. Yeah, let's return to Kagane for the time being. Where you should set up a target. I'd like the option of telling her that she's a terrible shot. You know, miss once, okay, fair enough. Miss twice, it's just like, are you actually any good at this? Didn't they say she was supposed to be a really good, competent and experienced hunter? Damn it all, I can't believe a bastard like that. Forgive me. I find myself more disgusted with that villain each time we see him. And to think all of this is driven by small-minded spite. From what I could gauge, he didn't fly towards Kagane during his escape. I believe he seeks a new settlement to terrorise. Now that the Confederacy and I are acquainted, I'll see if they can't help me sniff out his roost. No doubt, where there's smoke, he'll be there stoking the fire. I suppose I'll use this period to tend to my bow. Next time my arrow will fly true. Uh-huh. Yeah, something's off about that. Who's who? Wonderful, you're here. Ever since the incident in the Ruby Sea, I've kept a line of communication with the Confederacy, and they just reported something you'll be interested to hear. Apparently, a man impersonating the distinguished Lord of Doma was recently exposed. One of the Lord's retainers saw through the Pretender's facade while he was attempting to stir up trouble in the Doman Enclave. The imposter then reportedly transformed into a hawk and fled. Clearly, our quarry now nests in Doma. I'd like to resume our hunt immediately, but I'm not sure where he may go after his failure in the Enclave. Do any locations come to mind? A town in Yansha called Namai, you say? Sounds promising. The extent of your knowledge is truly remarkable. Without further ado, let's make our way there, see if the residents have noticed any unusual activity. Nod. To Namai! Trouble? None that I can think of. For a blessing, all's been peaceful. Have there been any quarrels of late? Why, yes, actually. Just the other day, the two of us were at each other's throats over a persimmon. She was only supposed to be half, but she went and gobbled the whole thing. In the end, she purchased this one by way of apology, so I let bygones be bygones. What's that? Isn't the sort of quarrel you're speaking of? Okay. Well, so far, I'm not seeing why people are saying this one is so much better than the others. By the Kami's grace, our quaint village has not seen strife since the Imperials were ousted. There's been news, however, of a man impersonating Lord Hien at the Enclave. As I'm told, when Lord Hien voiced intentions to invade Naksha, all present grew wary of the individual. None more so than Lady Yugiri, who saw through the farce immediately. After he was exposed, the villain fled the scene with haste. Unfortunately, efforts to find him have not borne fruit. Yes, that's, he's not very good at picking his targets, is he, this chap? Were you sweeping the dirt? None of the residents I spoke with reported anything out of the ordinary. How'd you fare? Nothing. And it seems the villain is not here. Where might he have gone? Maybe he's gone to play with the Namazu in their enclave. Huh? What are you doing here? Friend of yours? Don't hang your head like we're strangers. We met just moments ago. Remember? You asked me how to reach the House of the Fierce. Uh-oh. Good grief, Lash. You're lost, aren't you? I can understand your embarrassment, but I'll tell you the way again. Listen carefully now. Follow the descending path leading north out the village until you see a small pond, then simply dive in and swim. House of the Fierce will be on the other side. Could he have impersonated you this time? This doesn't bode well. We must hurry. Much obliged, sir. Interesting. I mean, it was only a matter of time before they impersonated us. Just how far must we swim to reach this place? I dare say my days spent in the lakes back home are about to come in handy. Well, cutscene swim it. Gasp! My friends! Demagen, question mark? This is the only time you'll see... No. Demagen actually talks. It's come to my attention that the Khan of the Azim Steppes' mighty Oanir tribe conspires in the shadows to invade Doma. We must not give them the chance. Invasion would mean all-out war. There is only one solution. Under the cover of darkness, you must assassinate the Khan. Only with his death can this... Well, then they're going to know it's not us, because we don't speak. They grow wary. Perhaps I should observe my targets more carefully. With all due respect, these allegations must be brought before Lord Hien. It's imperative we receive his instruction before acting. I would be playing right into the Oanir's hands. After all, an imposter disguised as Lord Hien was but recently exposed. An Oanir spy, there can be no question. Yet the spy has fled, and their whereabouts unknown. There could be anyone and anywhere, weaving new schemes even as we speak. Decisive action must be taken. That is why I came to you. So the impersonation of Lord Hien was but a part of the Oanir's grand scheme? But why would those who fought alongside us for Doma's liberation conspire to invade? Forgive me, but you don't seem yourself, Demagen. Something isn't right. Because I am desperate. A shadow looms over Doma, and only with your help can I cast away its dark pall. Yeah, because we're not strong enough to do this on our own. Please lend me your strength. Honoured friend, Demagen risked life and limb to see Doma free, yet you address her with suspicion and doubt. If she says we must act first to prevent greater bloodshed, then we must act. It is true that she's never led us astray. Brothers and sisters, let us join hands with Demagen once more to drive back this shadow rising over Doma. Oh, hey. What is the meaning of this? It's that infernal ominous spy. Quickly, kill her before she can escape. Really? You sound nothing like me. Your charade ends here. It's you. Ah, such persistent vermin. Ready your bow before he flies away this time. No. Oh, for God's sake. The problem appears to be your aim, not the bow. Ha! Pathetic. You're nothing like that other girl. What was her name? Ah, yeah, it's okay. She was fierce in that one, right up until the moment I drove my blade into her back. What's this? Don't tell me you've been masquerading around as Atoka herself. After all, that would make you know better than me. Hiding behind the name of another one to raise the blame you bear for everything that happened. Okay, okay. Fair enough. I'm sorry. I swear I'll explain everything to you later. For now, we should apprise these men and women of the situation. And to be fair, I said right at the start that she was masquerading as somebody else, but that's not the way I expected it to happen. To think he can transform into anyone. A truly fearsome ability. I shall alert Lord Hien to this threat immediately. Rest assured that all of Doma will be on alert. I was completely fooled. I have no words to express my shame. When speaking with you again, I realised that though the imposter assumed your guise, he had neither your spirit nor your grace. Forgive me, I will not fall for such a farce again. Yeah, that's us. Graceful. I am full of grace. / Ebow. So Atoka is dead. Might I have a word? The man impersonating you earlier. I recognise his face anywhere. Without a doubt, he is Samidare, a childhood friend. We have a name! You know him? Please, you must tell us everything. I've known Samidare nearly my entire life. We learned the shinobi arts together, you see. Roughly 25 years ago, we engaged in our first battle as proud ninja, defending Doma against the Empire's invasion. With every fibre in our body, we met their mighty Magitech with nimble ninjutsu. As if moved by our resolve, the mighty auspice and guardian of Doma, Tamamo Gozen, appeared on the field of battle to aid our cause. Which one was that one? The Dragon Dog, yeah. Yet our efforts were for naught. The Empire's might fell upon Doma like a hammer and we were crushed beneath their overwhelming force. The occupation began soon thereafter. So too did my work from the shadows. While I devoted myself to resisting the Empire in secret, Samidare was conscripted to their army and forced to become an Imperial spy. I understand he served them well, fanning the flames of war in faraway lands through rumour and manipulation. Indeed, as far back as I can recall, Samidare has ever excelled in the skill of subterfuge. It was only after the prisoner exchange that he returned to Doma at long last, but he was a changed man. He could find no joy or solace in the peace he once fought to secure for our nation. Instead, he sought to disrupt it. War has taught me the truth of this world. Civility is but a facade to hide man's savagery, and I'll prove it here, in dear, dear Doma. Savagery, you say? Would he have served under Xenos? Because that's a very Xenos-y word, isn't it? Savage. The fool I am, I thought he was jesting. Only later, when I discovered the web of lies he'd spun to turn folk against one another, did I realise he meant every word. I tried to confront him, but he fled Doma before I had the chance. Nevertheless, I searched his home afterwards and discovered a missive from an organisation called the Passage of the Unbound. I have it with me here. Dear illustrious Samadari, we extend our deepest gratitude for your interest in joining the Passage of the Unbound. With each passing day, our secret order draws closer to its goals, and we shall require exceptional talent for what lies ahead. Bearing these needs in mind, we have decided to welcome you into the fold. To celebrate the start of an auspicious future together, we invite you to meet your colleagues in Tuliolol and have enclosed your ticket within. Exceptional talent? Exceptional egos, more like. This Passage of the Unbound kept a watchful eye on nations far and wide to recruit cutthroats like Samadari who only follow their own desires. Upon his arrival in Tural, Samadari's ambitions guided him to my home, where he stole the Dreamweave cocoon and set out to use it for his own twisted ends. I'm afraid that appears to be the way of it. In all likelihood, it is the Passage of the Unbound which alerted him to this Dreamweave cocoon's existence. Today, Samadari attempted to incite war between Doma and the Azim Steppe by way in the face of our dearest ally, you. Your timely appearance prevented the worst from happening, but so long as he can alter his form and face at will, who can say what tomorrow may bring? His years as a secret operative have made him a master at reading people. Should he decide to study his target before taking their form, I fear his schemes may not be discovered until it's already too late. Please be careful. And may the Kami bless and keep you. Attempting to find Samadari now would be a fruitless endeavour. He could be any bird in the sky or any beast roaming the wild. Let's return to Kagani. I'll reveal everything to you there, I promise. Younger sister? Somebody... Clearly they feel guilt enough that they'd take her place. Tell me who you are. Not Itoka. I'm grateful for your help today. Once again I let our prey slip away. The only silver lining is that we know who he is now. But, more importantly, I apologise for deceiving you. As Samadari said, I'm not the greatest hunter of my home. I'm not Itoka. I am Kwikwi. I hail from the same village as Itoka, and I too am a hunter, but only in name. You've seen my aim for yourself. Yet most shameful of all is that it's my fault the Dreamweave cocoon was stolen. Normally, it's enshrined in the deepest recesses of our home, only Itoka had leave to wield it. The forest provides shelter and sustenance to many, and not all we share its bounty with are friendly. When great beasts threaten our home, the cocoon's power may be used to protect our lives. Yet I used it for my own foolish desires. I couldn't take it anymore. I was a hunter, yet could barely catch prey large enough to feed myself. I was forced to wash clothes, prepare meals, and tune bows. Just once I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to feel pride, so I used the cocoon's power to transform myself into Itoka. With her dexterity and finesse, I finally caught prey befitting a true hunter. And as I carried my prize home, he appeared. I found him collapsed in the middle of a beaten path. I never had reason to mistrust someone before, so I approached to nurse his wounds. At the moment I drew close, he knocked the cocoon from my grasp and struck me unconscious. He was long gone by the time I awoke. I confessed my sin to the village elder, and in her boundless grace she forgave me, but I could not forgive myself. I left home that very eve in secret to pursue the thief, all the way to Kagane. After several days of fruitlessly scouring the city, who should I see but Itoka? As our most exceptional hunter, it came as no surprise the elder had charged her with recovering the cocoon. She was astonished to see me, of course. I'd told no one of my actions. I feared she'd send me home, but when I expressed to her my shame, my anger, she consoled me and told me we would find the cocoon together. And I was certain we would, until the day that duplicitous bastard killed her. You appeared soon after her passing. I thought with someone as strong as you at my side, maybe, just maybe, I could avenge her. So I lied. Like Samadori said, I'm no better than he is. I'm an imposter. My desire to reclaim the cocoon is every bit as strong as Itoka's was. I'm so sorry for lying to you, Demagen. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me and continue to aid me in reclaiming the Dreamweave cocoon. I had my suspicions, but I also had faith in you. Thank you. I know that with you at my side I can keep my promise to Itoka. For now, I'll remain vigilant for any news regarding conflict in the region. Please, do pay me a visit when you find a moment to spare. I'm counting on you. Huh. I noticed they've kind of danced a little bit around Itoka's death. So, what's his face stabbed her in the back, but how did he get close enough to do that? Did he masquerade as Kwee? She's a choker, but no. Did he masquerade as Kwee and then, you know, when the back was turned, and we just got there in time to watch, or she just got there in time to watch? Well, I'm going to cut the recording here, and we'll carry on with this in a bit. Let's see if I can get my voice to hold out a bit more. I've had to take a bit of an extended break because after about an hour of talking, my voice was starting to... well, my throat was starting to close up at the back. Cornered Prey, level 96. Emma, I'm so relieved to see you. I thought you might resent me for lying to you, that you might refuse to lend me your help again. I'd certainly be hard-pressed to reclaim the cocoon alone in this foreign land. I truly meant what I said before, I'm counting on you. Though I'm ashamed to admit it, when I first arrived here I was nearly swindled out of an heirloom by a talking catfish. I'd been scouring the city for a shop to pawn my choker so I could secure room and board, you see, and the catfish approached me, claiming it would buy the necklace for a fair price, offered me a handful of coins that glittered like gold. I was about to accept the offer when Itoka appeared. In mere moments she discerned that the catfish's currency was counterfeit and ended the transaction then and there. She dragged me to the markets afterwards and pawned her own necklace to secure lodgings for the both of us. From the moment she arrived, Itoka took care of everything. What I'm trying to say is, I can't do anything on my own. I'm reckless and impulsive, and I'm just really glad to have you by my side. We look very shiny. Have I turned carrot's lighting on by mistake? Also, doesn't that affect everybody? Is it just me? Oh, rather, is it just the player? I don't know. It's been some time, my friends. Pray forgive my sudden visit, but I come bearing urgent tidings. Ah, we spoke with you at the House of the Fist. What brings you all this way? And how did you find us? I was able to make contact with Samadori. I told him I was willing to make amends and join my oldest friend in exposing the lies in people's hearts. He responded most eagerly and bade me meet him in secret. Trap? Trap. Wait, really? Did he say where? Aye, Hell's Lid. I had a mind to lay an ambush for him, but not knowing the extent of the power he wields, I thought it best to seek help. And so, I come here to beg your aid, Demagen. Your strength and valour are unequalled, and we cannot apprehend Samadori without you. Is this Samadori? We may never get another chance to catch him unawares like this. There's no time to lose. Oh, wait. Forgive me for speaking plain, Hudrus, but I fear we would only be a hindrance to Demagen when the fighting begins. Let us go to Hell's Lid by skiff and meet her after the villain is subdued. Ah, I take your point. You're right. Without us there to distract her, Demagen can focus wholeheartedly on the battle. Yeah, he's going to kidnap and... Would you mind going it alone? We'll be there as soon as we can. Don't be fooled, Demagen. Don't be fooled. Twists and turns. Search for Samadari in Hell's Lid. Yeah, this is gonna be a it's a trap, etc., etc. Right. A point of interest has been found. I wish they could blend this geometry together easier. You see no signs of Samadari. Perhaps his lair is further ahead. I don't think Demagen or any of your warriors of light would be fooled by this. I think this is just a little bit too suspension of disbelief-y. You still see no sign of Samadari, but feel an unsettling presence. Oh good, Kojin. What are they doing here? Have they been harmed? Harmed? Hired? I'm harming them. Yes, I'll finish my thought. Have they been hired by Samadari? Is he trying to foment discontent? I mean, I could be wrong. They could be on the level, but... Hey, you're right. I came as soon as... Oh, is the battle over already? Where's Samadari? That is Samadari, though. That is... What? So this was a trap? Wait, over there. Bonk. Come on. Are you okay? Thank goodness I made it. After all that time I spent in that old Kojin shell convincing his underlings to attack you, my blade was milms from the skin of your back. Alas. A meticulous plan gone to waste. Seems I underestimated your strength. I failed Huntress's tenacity. I dare say I'm outmatched. No common beast I might mimic can stand against you. I must contemplate your deaths with more care, more rigour. Look forward to our next meeting. Ooh, that is some low-res mountain. So, forgive me, I need to catch my breath. Samadari's friend was the villain himself. As soon as the skiff made it to the open sea, he threw me overboard. I damn near had to swim like a fish to make it here in time. Oh, I was right. He's made me into a fool, again. He waylaid me before using a similar ruse. By the time I figured out what was what, Itoka was already... I always wondered how a craven like Samadari was able to kill her, our greatest hunter, and now I know. Disguised himself as her. 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 Itoka felt a blade in her back and turned to see the face of her killer. She saw me. Glad I was able to prevent history from repeating itself. I want to lose you too. We should return to Kagane. Samadori may have planted more than one trap for us here. I appreciate the layers of misdirection that they are going for here. But equally, I think that was too obvious a trap. You know, in writing, I talked about this quite a lot actually while I was doing my master's degree. In writing, we talk a lot about the necessity of suspending disbelief. You know, for the sake of drama, sometimes we just have to assume that the audience will be able to look past things. It's not something you want to do often, but there are certain things that, you know, you have to do in order to get a narrative moving. You could argue, as many people will do, that it is bad writing. But equally, it's very easy to pull the bad writing card. But equally, everybody has their own set of tolerances for suspension of disbelief. And for some people, that whole section, obvious as it was to me, will probably have played okay and better for other people. I personally was not able to suspend disbelief enough for that to land for me. Did it keep me guessing as to whether I was right or wrong? A little bit, but not really enough for the payoff to justify the getting there. So suspending disbelief in that situation was too much of an ask for me. But this is an issue that FF14, and in fact it's not just FF14, but it is to a certain extent, you know, the Warrior of Light, us, we, the player character, in order to develop a narrative with stakes and tension, sometimes we have to do something that, as the player, doesn't land for us. You know, a prime example of this is the attack on Tuliolal in Dawntrail, which I've already spoken about at length, but part of that is the suspension of disbelief of surely we would have stepped in. After the honourable duel between Galuljaja and Zoralja concluded, Zoralja died and then resurrected. It takes a lot. It takes an ask of that suspension of disbelief to say, well, surely would have leapt in. And this highlights a bigger issue with the narrative of Final Fantasy XIV. And it's not the narrative as in the sense of Dawntrail's plots. That's not what I mean. It's literally the narrative fabric of the game, in the sense that we are too powerful. Because, as I joked about in my Dawntrail playthrough, we've killed gods! What else can you throw at us to challenge us? In other words, how can you develop satisfying narrative tension and stakes where we can whoop the ass of any antagonist? It has to either be of a more political nature where we can't just solve everything with violence, and some people would like that, but not every story can be political. Or you remove the Warrior of Light from the equation. There've been multiple people that say, oh, we should have been elsewhere. We should have seen the death of Galul Dajar through the Echo. And yeah, That would have worked. Absolutely. I'm 100% in agreement. For that instance, yes. Us being held back or held up or just being elsewhere and too late would absolutely have worked. But what about the next occasion where something dramatic has to happen? And the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one. You cannot just keep with the contrivance of we're always somewhere else. We're always being held up. We always have to see the important dramatic events through the echo. You know, it's a story contrivance that will piss just as many people off as the fact that we didn't do anything because plots in that attack. Because we are too powerful. We need, narratively speaking, I have no idea how they can do this, incidentally. The Warrior of Light needs bringing down a peg. The problem, from a kind of power level, not from a kind of humbling perspective, you know, hero of the realm. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking from a power perspective. We're just too powerful. Part of that is due to game mechanics, you know, the whole leveling up thing. You know, are they going to raise the level cap to 110 next expansion? You know, is Zeralja a level 100 enemy really stronger than the Endsinger, a level 90 enemy? No, clearly not. That's a problem with the game mechanics. The way Guild Wars 2 does this, of course, is that you get to level 80 and then all content is level 80 content. You know, I kind of feel, and I was going to talk about this in a separate video, but I'm kind of on the ball now. In retrospect, for me, I think they should have capped us at 100 and reworked the entirety of Endwalker. No, the entirety of 2.0 through to 6.0 as level 1 to 100. And we cap at defeating the Endsinger. Because what else are they going to create that is more powerful than a universe-destroying god? Everything else should be at a maximum of on par with that. But of course that doesn't work really for game mechanics. Yeah, I saw some people say, typical kind of clickbaity video title, Lamat is a Mary Sue. No, she's not. No, she is not. Lamat, you can, you know, agree or disagree whether you think she's a well-written character or not, but she's not a Mary Sue. You know, Mary Sues are can do no wrong perfectionists, and that is clearly not what Lamat is. Lamat is a spoiled, thinks she knows more than she does teenager, essentially, who thinks she's got what it takes to take over from her dad, and ends up going on a journey and realising how bloody little she knows, and is thankful that she's got allies like us around her to mentor her and give her some pointers, and then she comes into her own. Now, the Mary Sue, such as they are, of Final Fantasy XIV is us. The Warrior of Light is the Mary Sue. We are the perfect person to throw at every situation. We don't lose battles. We can't fail on things. Mechanically, we always get it right. You know, the wipes don't count because that's a game mechanic, but narratively, we are always getting stuff done. I'm talking about suspension of disbelief anyway. So suspension of disbelief is super important in stories, and for me, for me, my Warrior of Light wandering off for such an obvious ploy was just that is, you know, we've established the nature of the threat, and we didn't even think to cast any suspicions on that ninja who showed up. It's just like that was a step too far. I would argue that it's not necessarily bad writing, but it kind of wasn't good in terms of writing. Anyway, my Mary Sue with trainers needs to carry on, because I'm saying I want to try and keep these videos shorter so my throat doesn't give out, and thus I stood on a soapbox and waxed lyrical about suspension of disbelief and the Warrior of Light to Mary Sue for 10 minutes. I feared the worst as I rushed to reach you. The moment Samadari was in sight, I charged without thinking, which in retrospect was probably for the best. Had I tried to shoot him from afar with my bow, I might have missed, or worse yet, hit you instead. In any case, I'm just relieved you're safe. I promise to be more wary from now on, particularly of familiar faces. It hardly needs saying, but remember to keep your guard up as well. Yeah, see, it makes sense for Kwee to you know, QQ, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. It makes sense that she would fall for that, because she's naive and kind of inept. But you know, a lot of people have been saying, the Warrior of Light's actually really good at strategy and tactics because of all the battles they've taken part in. It's like, I don't necessarily believe that. We listen to other people when it comes to pointing us in the right direction. But even then, I still don't think we should have fallen for that. For now, I'll resume my efforts to gather information about Samadari's whereabouts. You'll be the first to know once I've a lead. Imposter syndrome. Yes. Kwee seems to be on edge. Good to see you, Demagen. It is you, isn't it? Or should I say Samadari? There's only one way to be sure. I need you to tell me something only you and I would know. When I used the cocoon to take on Itoka's form, what creature did I hunt? You never told me. It's really you. Wow, that's a relief. Indeed, I never told you that my arrow struck a great wild boar, a prize for any hunter. Samadari is the only one who ever saw it. Sorry for doubting you, but I could think of no better way to expose him if he'd attempt to impersonate you again. I have to remain vigilant after all, even though no news of his plots have reached me as of late. But what of your Samadari? From here to Yansha, people are on alert for a many-faced agitator within their midst. Not even a stray cat is beyond scrutiny. While Samadari can no longer act so brazenly, I'm afraid this means his trail's gone cold. We also have another problem. When he pushed me into the Ruby Sea, the remedy I carried was soaked in salt water. I'm afraid it's no longer effective. No doubt his plan for the start was to eliminate the one means we had of undoing the cocoon's mimicry. We're at a disadvantage too great to ignore. Which is why I intend to synthesize a new batch. I was just about to go procure the necessary ingredients from the supplier when you arrived. Let you join me. I don't understand why sometimes we just turn and watch people walk away. Well, no, I do. It's from a mechanics standpoint, it's so that the player's position doesn't move. But equally, we have, they are very capable of moving us in cutscenes. So yeah, realistically, I don't know why we just watch. It looks kind of weird, I have to say. I don't know if it's a budget thing or an anime. I don't know. I don't know. Shirakashi. I've never heard of such materials. Where are they found? Deep in the forest of Taral, a land beyond the Great Sea and far, far to the west of here. Taral? I'm afraid my supply chain does not extend quite that far. We can teleport, you know. I feared as much. It doesn't help that the materials can only be harvested when the season is right. Even were I to return home now, I doubt I could find what we need. We've no choice but to give up on the remedy. I'm sorry. Now we're at the mercy of Samadari's cunning. Oh, I meant to check the character lighting. Hello there. Tell me. It's the old person voice that I always do. It's the only one I'm capable of doing. Have you any salves that might ease my aching... Oh, it's me. It's me. My aching back. Oh, it's definitely me. Sir, this isn't the apothecary. Where are your spectacles? Oh, yes. How could I forget? Ah, much better. Sometimes I forget that I'm as blind as a bat without these. Forgive me, Shirakashi. Glasses. Excuse me. But do those bits of glass covering your eyes help you see better? Wait, you've never seen glasses? Well, yes. Are you... Oh, is that why her aim's bad? Because she's like short-sighted or something? Are you unfamiliar with spectacles? I've seen folk wearing them before, but I always thought they were decorative, like my choker. Tell me, where can I procure a pair of my own? Hey, Yamabuki is your man. He has a breadth of artisan contacts, so will ensure you receive a pair fine-tuned to your specifications. You'll find his shop on this very street. I'll look for him, thank you. Yeah, I bet it. She's just short-sighted, isn't she? That's why her aim's awful. Questioning. I'm sorry, you must be completely bewildered. I thought a failure of a hunter like me would never be able to aid you in battle, but I've just come to realise there's hope yet. But let's not crowd this stall any longer. Care to join me over there? Yes, we're looking very orangey, and I think I must have bumped character lighting up without realising it or something. Let me just see if I can fix that. Alternatively, we will continue the cutscene. Ever since I was a child, I've had trouble seeing things from afar. That's why my aim with the bow is so poor. I'm not fit to be a hunter, never was. It's only natural that chores like washing sheets and preparing meals fell to me. But I always yearned to do more, to be more. I've looked up to Itoko ever since I can remember. No matter how hard I tried, I simply couldn't give up on my dream. I had to be just like her. So I begged her to teach me everything she knew. From the basics of drawing a bow to precise aiming techniques that few hunters use. Yet despite all her efforts, my sight failed me where it counted most. All my life, I thought this was simply how nature intended for me to be. I was content to accept my lot. But now that I know spectacles may improve my eyesight, I feel hope. If I could just try them, perhaps my arrows would fire true. I could join you in battle, and maybe even strike down Samadari with my own arrow. We may have lost the remedy, but this would give us an element of surprise. So I have to try on spectacles for myself. Nod. Alright, let's go meet this Yamabuki. This is a very unexpected turn of events. A right roller coaster this episode is turning out to be. Right, character lighting is... No, character lighting is not on. We're just looking really brightly lit. And maybe it's because we're contrasted with... Quack. Yeah, we just look better lit. A pair of spectacles, is it? I can certainly get your order in the pipeline, but I'm afraid there'll be a wait. I'm fresh out of supplies, you see, and the next shipment isn't due for a number of weeks. Of course, if you're in a rush, you could roll up your sleeves and get the materials yourselves. All you need is the glossy shell of an azure hawksbill and a cluster of aureolent quartz. Bring them here, my affiliates can begin work immediately. Who knows what schemes Samidari might contrive should we let down our chase for weeks? Would you be willing to lend me a hand with procuring the materials? If we split up, we should be able to gather them in the blink of an eye. Haha, spectacle puns. Quite the eager pair, I see. In that case, I dare say you'll be able to negotiate with the Blue Kojin for a carapace of splendid quality. Ah, I visited Tamamitsu during my investigations in the Ruby Sea. I'll handle the shell. We've got Hawksbill duty then. That leaves you with the Orient Quartz. Pray look for a cavern near Shoal Rock in the Ruby Sea. Sprinkle some glittering gravel to lure a Shoal Iwamushi from its lair within and retrieve a cluster from its shell. Let's meet back here when we're finished. Solving problems like mischievous mimics and eyesights. To a thought. Right, is this going to be in the cave? If I remember correctly, doesn't that not lead there? Or am I misremembering entirely? Oh, does this lead in? Oh, it does. I feel like I should have known that. I don't think I've ever used this entrance. Obviously, I've flown over here like dozens of times because this is where you have to do the... Is it the meal delivery daily quest for the Kojin? I literally don't think I've ever been in here. Unless there was a quest that had us come in at some point. How odd. Lying in wait. Oh, it's a coblin. Of course it's a coblin. Did that still go off? That apparently still went off. Maybe I just didn't get stunned. I don't know. Back to Kugane. I can't remember who it was that I saw and heard pronounce it Kugane in a video. And I don't know how they managed to pronounce it like that unless they kind of story skipped the entirety of Stormblood. Which I guess would make sense. I'm sure it's mentioned by name elsewhere. Kagane. Going to Kagane. I can't remember who it was. I remember it was a bloke. A bloke on YouTube. That's really, really helpful. Ah, you're the first to return. I trust you have the quartz in hand. I do. This cluster of quartz possesses a light golden hue. I really like the fact that we've got these trainers on. Excellent! This will make for a fine pair of lenses. Now we need only wait for your friend. I'm back! Oof. Need to work on your stamina. As well as your eyesight. Sorry, didn't mean to alarm you like that. I spoke with the Kojin in the Blue as planned, but soon learned that hawksbill shells have been sparse of late. They were reluctant to part with a single one. I was able to wear them down, though, until they proposed... Oh, I was able to wear them down, though, until they proposed an exchange. If I dealt with the Red Kojin who'd invaded their fishing grounds, they'd spare a shell. I knew my bow would be useless, so I took a leaf out of Demagen's book and fought him up close and personal. As you can see, I took quite the beating. But so did they. Maybe a little worse for wear, but the trouble was worth it. I have the shell as promised, and with it your associates can get started. Indeed they can. Let us first measure your eyesight, and then we can get to work. And we'll just stand around. Oh, eye tests. That's another thing I need to remember to do this summer. Get my eyes tested. This is incredible! Everything is so vivid! I do that all the time, incidentally. Well, I'm sure I could hit a bird over the horizon. Come, Demagen, I want to fire some test shots at the sign over there. Hold on. That seems like a fine way to earn the ire of the Seikosagumi. I'll prepare some targets for you, so let's move somewhere less crowded. Of course. Thank you for going to the trouble. I'm surprised they didn't turn them into some kind of goggles. Because, you know, glasses not actually all that great for using in combat. Also, you'll need to adjust. Every time I get new glasses, even though they are better prescription-wise, it takes me a while to adjust. Oh. Why do we look so sullen? Of course, she knows the precise aiming techniques as well. She just couldn't see well enough for them to actually make any difference. Nice. little bit of kind of, yeah, lip syncy style thing there. I did it. I really did it. After all these years, my aim is true. This is surprisingly heartwarming. When we find Saminara, he won't know what hit him. It'll be an arrow, probably. I could hit the Prima Vista from here. No, that was very nice. That was very nice. I can see why people might find this one a little bit more... I don't know if I can properly describe this feeling to you. After so long, I don't feel like someone pretending to be a hunter. Finally, I don't feel like a burden. As soon as I catch even a whiff of Samidara's trail, we stop him for good. When that moment arrives, please lend me your strength for one last time. Together, we'll retrieve the cocoon and return it to my village. Yes, that was nice. I'm going to, I'm going to join in with the spectacle stuff. Right, this is the level 100 quest, which is going to let us pick it up, but it's not going to let us turn in. So I should probably go and get myself to level 100, and then we'll come back and we'll finish off this chain. Cut! So much for just getting to level 100 and then coming back to finish the quest. I got to level 100 and went to bed instead. So it's the next day, and we're now going to finish off the level 100 melee DPS role quest, which is of course going to give us some materia, which I've got so much materia. In fact, I've got so little inventory space. I save, I hoard. Let's discuss some new developments. Your timing could not have been more impeccable, Demagen. A person claiming to be an acquaintance of yours stopped by just moments ago, wishing to have a word about Samidara, no less. They're presently waiting in my room, so give me just a moment and I'll bring them here. Who? Who is it? Oh, Serena. You look well, Temujin. Forgive me for eschewing pleasantries, but there is an urgent matter I wish to discuss. Hey, get the fact that I knew who she was. I remembered her name. Ooh. What did we eat the night before our trial in Bardam's Metal? I believe we feasted on gula meat. You and Hien competed to see who could bring back the Greater Hall. Aha! We're not being fooled! It would seem you too have grown wary of imposters. Then we can proceed straight into the heart of the matter. You appeared in Mol Ilo a few days ago, claiming Hien had been driven to madness, that he was assembling an army in Doma with plans to conquer the Azim Steppe. For a blessing, we'd already received word from a Doman envoy that... Envoy? That an agitator was mimicking others and saw the ruse for what it was. Unfortunately, when we attempted to capture them, the imposter transformed into a sheep and disappeared among the grands basing, the bands grazing on the plains. When I informed our friends in Doma of the incident, I was told you had been using Kugane as a base to track down the perpetrator and thought it best I apprise you of this happening. Samadari. He won't relent. His schemes won't end until we make them end. You may discover a clue as to his whereabouts in Reunion. If anyone in the steppe has seen him, that is where they will be. Now, I must alert the other tribes of this threat. May the winds speed your way. Thanks, Serena. I can't do that. Without breaking myself. Off to the Azim Steppe then. With any luck, someone in Reunion will have insight to offer. Eyes on the inside. Oh, I need to play Bloodborne again. Maybe that's something I'll do after I've finished off the somewhat hefty schedule of FF14 bits and pieces that I kind of want to do and catch up on. There's a lot of FF14 content that I'm only just realising I've missed. For example, there's the Scholastica stuff in Heaven's Ward that I've never done. Conflict? Not besides the normal quarrels between tribes. Certainly no disputes on the scale you speak of. But I have heard rumours that Magna has been sneaking out from the Dawn Throne. Where could he be going? To do what, I wonder? Well, clearly he's going to be searching for a person, a lady. A soulmate. Someone's stirring up trouble. A quarrel among the tribes is as common as the rising sun. Not a day goes by without it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've goods to sell. Kindly continue your inquiries elsewhere. Yes, okay. Sheeps. Conflict is forbidden in Reunion. This is known. As for my tribe, all is at peace. I heard a rumour of interest, however. It seems Magna of the Ornir has been behaving strangely of late. Perhaps that is related to the matter you are investigating? Uh-huh. Quick-wee. Nice dress. Nice colour. Were you able to learn anything of interest? Why, yes. I've also heard the rumours pertaining to this Magni. One person even stated they saw him headed towards a place called Bardam's Metal not long ago. Mayhap his is the form Samadari has chosen to take on? Whatever the case may be, we'll find the answer at Bardam's Metal. We can't allow Samadari's depravities to go on any longer. Steel yourself! But when next we face him, we're putting an end to all this in a solo duty. Oh, in fact, we're starting it here and now. Good, you're ready. Once the battle begins, there's no telling which form Samadari might take. An eminent warrior, a fearsome beast, a sheep, the corn servant, or worse. He's also shown more scrupulous behaviour in his preparations of late. Whatever his form, we would do best to assume that he has thoroughly studied its strengths and will use them to full effect. Yet I am not the feeble hunter I was before. Together, with your martial might and my exacting eye, we will defeat him. The glasses have given her immense confidence. At long last, Itoka shall have her vengeance, and my village shall see the cocoon returned. Latsagor. I'm also reminded that I need to do the raids. I haven't done them this week. Huh. Well, now we definitely know shit's happening. So has he taken Sardu's form instead? And Magnai's fallen for it because he's a love-struck idiot. My beautiful bright sun, I would bask in your warmth till my flesh returns to the earth. Has the feral dog gone rabid? You speak these honeyed words to lure me into your cot, only to slit my throat as I sleep. Hush, fool. I am your Nama. Though we've had our disagreements in the past, I've come to understand my actions were born of love. Yeah. It's only now that I am forced to wed do I realise this. Despite my shame, I wish to confess my feelings before it's too late. Wed? A Dothal beast like you? To whom? To what? Hien of Doma. By becoming kin, he seeks to leverage the influence of the Dothal to claim dominion over the steppes. Yes. Magnai will of course fall for this. The Doman knows no shame. Very well. I will consider your proposal. Far-fetched though it may be, I cannot overlook the possibility that you are my Nama. But first we must gather our warriors. The Doman's impudence cannot go unpunished. We march for Doma tomorrow's dawn. That's not Sado. You? What are you doing here? Is it not obvious? They are spies of Doma, come to quash any thought of resistance. You must kill them, quickly. But she's the Kargan. Bonk! Of course, the real Sardu would black magic his ass. You two are quite the persistent pair. I'm going to sneeze. 1 second. Excuse me. Yeah. You two are quite the persistent pair. I'd hoped to strike at your backs from the shadows, but now you forced my hand. I will select from my repertoire the greatest warriors I've witnessed, and use their strength to give you the death you so crave. Silvertongue Samadare. Unbound. Beginning with her. Her as in... Itoka. How dare you! When my arrow pierces your breast, Itoka will finally know peace. Do. Nice. Duty commenced. I'm taking back what you stole. Give me some buffs. Now I can do that too. There's no positional stuff for this, so we're good. Uh-oh. Man's got some hit points. Oh shit! I've got level 100, haven't I? That's the new continuation combo thing. I was wondering why it was changing, but I've only just got 100, so it's like, how does it even work? Uh oh. Clonk. Oh, tethers. Oh shoot, they're actually okay. Okay, that's actually quite awkward with how I've got this set up, so I will need to play with that. Oh, he's changed to Magni. Oh no, I have been fettered. Now to deliver the coup de grace with that Thali devil. We're going to get a QTE? Yep. Oh, shit. Alright. So that, and that. And that. Oh, music change. Oh, hey, doggo. Tamamogo-san. Okay. Oh, woo! Oh! That, then that. Then that, then that. Then that, then that. Then that, then that. Yeah, I definitely need to move that around. Ninefold curse. That sounds wonderful. Oh. I shall drink deep of the ambient ether and render you to ash. Such baleful energy. Oh, a ball of naught? Ten seconds, 5 seconds. Oh, woo! Do 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 do. I should probably read the tooltip for the continuation thing. I think it's called Legacy, isn't it? So you do generation, then legacy, then second generation, then second legacy. That was fairly straightforward. Fun fight, though. No. Not this time. Straight to the wing. Release. Yeah. Oof. Ooh. No bouncing or anything there. Oh, dear Lord, he fell quite a way. KO. Are we stood? Oh, we're not stood on Magni. Magni needs to wake up at some comedic moment, doesn't he? Itoka. It's finally done. Triumph music. Da 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 dum dum dum. What am I doing here? I feel as though I've woken from the strangest dream. Well, you see... This cowardly cur assaulted you from behind and knocked you unconscious. You have shown the sun disgrace this day. You will feel his scorn impressed upon your flesh. You shall forget the warmth of his radiance. In the shadows will you scream, yet none will hear. Prepare yourself. Whoa. Whoa! Comedy? Cha-ching! Death would have been too good a fate for him. He deserves to spend the rest of his days feeling the weight of his crimes. Now we've honoured Utoka's memory and reclaimed the cocoon. No words can express my gratitude. And to think, all we needed was a pair of glasses. I can finally go home. But my community awaits our foremost hunter's triumphant return. What expression will come over their faces when the village disgrace arrives instead? I don't know if I can bear to see. You're pretty good yourself, though. Why did we just smile? Love this music. Anyway, I can't sit here and just hum along to the music. Well, I could do, because I could just cut it out of the video, but no. Our journey to reclaim the Dreamweave cocoon has come to an end at long last. Would that I could return home in high spirits. As I recall, you said Shashashpia is the one who requested your help, yes? Let's make the journey back to Tuliola and report to her all that has happened. Hello, Shashashpia. You're back! Were you able to retrieve the Dreamweave cocoon? Utoka isn't with you. Kwee? Thank goodness you're alive. But alas, the turkey is not. May her soul rest in the cocoon's embrace. Can't believe the turkey is gone. Yes, our village's greatest hunter is lost to us while its greatest failure survives. Here, take the cocoon back where it belongs, home. I have no right to return. That's not true. It would be ridiculous. You're a child of the forest. You are our dear sister. You can always come home. The entire village has been worried sick about you. We all saw how crestfallen you were, so when you suddenly disappeared, we feared you took your life. For 3 days and 3 nights, we scoured land and water to find you. But look at you now, Kwee. Not only are you hale and whole, but you have reclaimed the cocoon too. I'm sure that Itoka's spirit, hunting in the forest above, is smiling down at you with pride. And she would much rather you take up her mantle and protect the village than wallow in guilt over her death. Nothing escapes your gaze now, after all. Isn't that right? Thank you, Shishpia. It's settled. You'll return home with me. Finally, our village can breathe a sigh of relief. And it would be remiss of me not to thank you properly, Demagen. For assisting Kwee in reclaiming the Dreamweave cocoon, you have my heartfelt thanks. Right, that says gratitude, but thanks will do. Gratitude! I was little more than a liar and a hypocrite when we first met. But during our time together, I've discovered that I'm so much more than that. That with the right tools, even I could become a hunter worthy of following in Itoka's footsteps. I'm truly grateful to you for helping me to see, that. Farewell for now, Demagen. I hope that one day our paths may cross again. There's a couple of people that have said this. Is that hinting? I assume it's probably hinting at a post-individual role quest kind of conglomerate quest, like they've done with the others. At least I assume they did that with Endwalker as well as Shadowbringers. Also, that outfit, it's one we can get, isn't it? I can't remember. Is it one of the Warg sets? Hi! I love how our hair looks when it's wet. It's a really weird thing to say, I know, but there's just something about it that really looks, to me at least, super well done. Quest complete. Dreams woven anew. 1 slot remaining in my inventory. Oh yes. So we still have 2 to go. We have got the tank one. Oh yeah, and the fizz range DPS. I was going to say, why the 2? We've done... No. So I've got the tank one to do, and I've got the physical range DPS to do. Both of those are going to take a while to get to. One would think. Which one's this one? That's the tank one. So obviously, I don't need to go and talk to this one. I know that this is, in fact, the physical range DPS, excluding limited jobs. That's an interesting note. Mind you, did it say that for the tank one as well? Yes. Okay. I was going to say, that's not a hint that Beastmaster is going to be a physical ranged DPS, is it? I can see... I'm going to try not to make this punny. But I can see now why people are saying that the melee DPS role quest was better in some ways, or at least more interesting in some ways than the others that I've done so far, and potentially all of them. I still think that the suspension of disbelief required to go along with that, oh yes, we best go on our own to Hell's Lid thing, I think that was just a little bit meh. But otherwise, you know, I think the progression of that story, the character development in Kuki, Queek, whatever her name is, I think that was quite well done. And it's interesting that I've done them in this order, because, you know, I did Caster DPS first, which I thought was not a very It wasn't that the story wasn't very interesting. It was just that the power of the totem wasn't very interesting. It's like, oh, it can make rocks fall from the sky. How interesting. And then obviously we went to the healer one with the toxins and the poisons and all of the variety of effects that one could do. And I thought, oh, that one's much more interesting. And now we've got to this one where it can, you know, mimic anything. It kind of makes me feel like, well, the rest of them are probably going to be a step down. And not just because of what people have said, that, you know, the Fizz DPS one is the best, but also because, well, actually, what other powers could these things have that would make them interesting to try and solve problems of, you know? So a mimic, that's an interesting and engaging problem. And I think the more I think about it, the more I think that was, you know, quite well done. You know, it brought back some characters that we've seen before that we like. I had my suspicions that Magna and Sadu were going to get involved somehow, and I was correct. That was a good story, apart from a couple of minor niggles that I had with it about that suspension of disbelief. I'm intrigued as to what the rest are going to be now. So yes, I and the Corn Servant are, well, we've got I and the Corn Servant. The Corn Servant and I now need to go and do some leveling of other things. Plus, I need to try and figure out how to sort that continuation thing. Because the way I've been doing it, and I know this isn't really very relevant, but I've been hitting, when Reawaken's on, I've been doing 4, 5, Control 4, Control 5. But now I need to do 4, 3, 5, 3, Control 4, 3, Control 5, 3. Now, realistically, what I probably should do is put Swallow's Tail on Control 3 as well, so I'm always doing that sequence. The trouble is, my stun is on Control 3. My stun is always on Control 3. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. What do we actually have in terms of... Huh. Oh, is it a trait? Oh, it is. Serpent's Legacy. Yeah, so allows the execution of first after first generation, second legacy after second, and so on and so forth. And those are all down here, and they just take the place of Serpent's Tail. Yeah, see, I've got used to that being there. So either I just have to be more careful when I've got the legacy stuff up, or I need to move my stun. I think I probably need... Yeah. Because you can only use stun every 40 seconds anyway, I think probably this will have to do. Because otherwise I'm going to get messed up. Anyway, it matters not for the purpose of this video. From the Corn Servant, who seems to be having a nice bath, and myself, thank you very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed my reactions to the physical melee DPS role quest. I had to really think about the order of things that I had to say there. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot more than I did the ranged caster DPS. It's going to take me a little while to get to the other two, just because I haven't got them leveled up enough. You know, Bard. Yeah, I'm slowly leveling these up. You know, don't get me wrong, tank would be very easy to get to 99 with the dungeon queues for tanks. Would be super duper easy. So I might do tank next. I don't know. For now, though, that is the end of the role quest content. Coming up, there will be... I don't know, because I don't know what order I'm releasing videos in. So I'm not going to speculate. I don't know what I've already said. I know I've got some stuff about the variant dungeons, but I don't know whether that will be before this comes out or after this comes out. It's been recorded before this. It's been put together before this. I don't know what I'm doing. I know I've said this before. I shall continue saying it because it is true. Have yourselves a great day, folks. From the Corn Servant and I. Enjoy yourselves. Stay safe. Stay fabulous. Cheerio. I love that slide. Sleazy jazz music. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.